human, anti-liberty, anti-woman, man. The establishment will push that while trying to block things that are socially responsible.
Well, we've seen that happen in hip-hop alone. I mean, if I just take hip-hop, I mean, because that's obviously my genre, and that's what I started in. When I first started in the early 90s, the groups were, you know, me and Public Enemy and Boogie Down Productions and X-Clan and all of these groups that reflected this Afrocentric sensibility that wanted to see the community advance. Right, it wasn't an anti-white sensibility. It was something that really wanted to see people do better overall, and that those types of messages have been squashed for the most part. And you know, the rise of gangster rap. You know, we see a direct correlation between the messages and the outcomes in our community,
which just prepares the black males to go into the prison system.
Of course, exactly. You know, and that's big business, you know, in the same way that there are college towns, and I don't have to tell you or your listeners this, but in the same way that there are college towns, there are towns where the entire, you know, economy is driven by prison.
Well, take Tulia, Texas, where they arrested 56 black people in 1 month, none of them with drugs with no evidence, because the only business in that town was a prison, and they put the black people on the town in the prison.
There you go.
And it turned out it was all a setup. Turned out none of them were using drugs.
Yep, but when you see, you know, and like you see, you know, you just see the same thing with any corporate enterprise now that's really large. Like there are certain towns that I've been to, for example, I have in-laws in North Carolina, and Walmart is the main employer in some of these small cities. You know, Mooresville, Statesville, North Carolina, those kind of spots. You know, where the Walmart is huge, man. You might see a Walmart that's, you know, hundreds of thousands of square feet, and they have Walmart social events and, you know, calendar where basically your entire life is dictated by this corporation. That's
who has taken over the market with Chinese slave goods.
And you know, mom and pop enterprise, man, depending on what it is a hard sell right now.
Well, that's why it's important to support alternative music, film, farmers markets, anything alternative, anything that's made by a smaller organization or group is so important. And Paris, I want to have you back sooner than a year. I'm glad that you know we dropped out of contact. I've been busy, you've been busy. I'm glad that you emailed us about your new album. I'm glad to have you back on.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Please visit GorillaFunk.com. The new album is Acid Reflex. It's available in stores now. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate everything, man, as usual.
Absolutely. Acid Reflux in stores now. Paris, we will talk to you soon and have you back up soon if you'll do it.
That'll work, man. Thank you. Take
care.
We're on the
Let me say bye to him unless he's gone. Leave me on air.
1 second.
Is he still there?
Go ahead.
Hey, Paris.
Yes.
I haven't been able to talk to you.
Alex, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, listen, we're on air still right now. Just streaming at prisonplanet.tv and Infowars.com. That's why I didn't talk to you during the break. Listen, I'm done, not as busy now, and I'm sorry I didn't work harder with you on that thing when you gave me that offer earlier, but if you're not too busy, let's talk about it again soon. When's a good time to call you?
Man, hit me up anytime. I'm around.
All right.
I'm literally around, especially with the holidays coming up. I'm really coming to a start, the end of the year slowdown. So
absolutely,
reach out for me when you're ready. I'm here.
Well, also, I have been my producer's been out this week, so I've been kind of by the seat of my pants. Let me just ask John, did you get Jeffrey R. Smith, John?
He's all set and ready.
Okay, good. Just so you know, I didn't put in a good plug. I just plugged the website. So I've seen. On screen, we've been putting the website and the new album cover. When I come back, I'll plug it after you've left us, Paris. So I just say Acid Reflux by Paris.
It's Reflex.
Reflex. Yeah. Acid Reflex
by Paris. Yep. And
Reflux.
And remember, there's a that college contest. It's all there.
Well, you know what? Let's do this. Can you do 2 more minutes on the other side?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, let's come back because you kind of got cut off there. The satellites, they fire. And we'll come back to you in about a minute and a half, finish up, and then we'll go to my next guest, okay?
It's all good. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
This film follows the growing momentum of 9/11 truth as brave souls throughout the world take action against their global masters.
He had his hand over the radio while he was getting a countdown. He takes his hand off and you hear 3, 2, 1, and it was boom, 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 boom.
This is an emergency transmission worldwide. Download Truth Rising at prisonplanet.tv and aggressively spread it worldwide, or order the DVD at Infowars.com. If we don't expose the government-sponsored terror, they're going to commit more acts and bring in martial law.
heart disease is on the rise. Clogged arteries, high blood pressure, and high cholesterol levels may not be fully detected by you, but the symptoms are there. Loss of energy, blood sugar spikes and drops, poor circulation, and irregular heartbeat are just a few of these that can alert you that something is wrong. Hear how Heart and Body Extract is making a difference in thousands of people's lives across America.
My blood pressure has normalized. My diabetes has totally improved.
Everyone is telling me now how much healthier I look, and I'm telling everyone how much healthier I feel. I recommend Heart and Body Extract to everyone.
Anybody over 40 in the North American continent should be using this product as a preventative to keep their cardiovascular system healthy.
Order your 2-month supply today by calling 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. Or order online, hbextract.com. Heart and Body Extract, 866-295-5305 or hbextract.com.
Jeffrey R. Smith, one of the premier experts in the world, author, documentary filmmaker, researcher, testifies to governments all over the planet about GMO foods, toxins in food, the melamine in the milk, the plastic estrogen mimicking endocrine disruptors. He'll be joining us in about 3 minutes, but I wanted to hold Paris over because I had him on for an hour and hardly plugged the new album, Acid Reflex. And again, a great social commentary, very thought-provoking. You may not even agree with it all, but the point is that it's not establishment propaganda milquetoast. And he also has a golden ticket prize in the new album out in stores everywhere. You can also hear it online, but the contest is there for scholarships. So I briefly wanted to have Paris finish up telling folks about that. Paris?
Yes, what it is, and I appreciate it, Alex, it's 3 chances to win $10,000 towards higher education or housing. Those are the specific stipulations with the prize, and it's only available in CD form in the physical CD that you can buy at retail. So, or through Amazon or Best Buy. Amazon and Best Buy are your best bets, even more so than Gorilla Funk, because we run out of them pretty quickly. I'm sure I'm out of them now, as a matter of fact, as a result of being on your show. But it is those prizes are transferable too. That's the other thing. So if you're not interested in going to college, but a college-age teen that's thinking about it, then you can give them the gift. But it's 3 chances to win $10,000, and in this environment, man, everybody, I'm sure, needs a leg up.
By the way, I'm watching the video for the first time. I'm a big fan, but I've just been so busy I hadn't seen it yet, of Acid Reflux. We're playing a little clip of it on prisonplanet.tv on screen right now, and it looks really good. And this looks like the director or the animator of the guy that did the big video for some other folks right before the election in 2006. Is this the same director of the Eminem video? No,
you're thinking about Ian Nanaba and Gorilla News Network. No, this is not them, although I have worked with them in the past, and I narrated that Aftermath 9/11 movie of theirs. No, this is a guy named Corey Shaw from a company called Build Destroy down in L.A. Does world-class work. I mean, this video is... Oh,
this blows away the Eminem video. I mean, I'm watching this, and it is awesome.
And it's painfully expensive. So so everybody go buy a copy of Acid Reflex ASAP and support independent media.
And I mean, listen, since some of this came out on air, since you mentioned it, I'm really honored that you offered to put me on the Universal label, and I was just looking at the contracts. They were a great deal, best deal I've ever been offered, and I just didn't even, I was trying to finish something, having a new baby. I know it didn't matter, but I wanted to, since I couldn't talk to you behind the scenes, I wanted to apologize for not getting on the ball with that, but I'll work on that, Paris, and I've been honored to talk to you. Everybody get Acid Reflex, and we'll talk to you soon, my friend.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I'm honored to be here. Take care.
All right, there he goes, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, great guy. Look, I trust Paris, but I'm a little bit scared of Universal. And that's just one of the many offers I've had. And he brought it up earlier, so I went ahead and talked about it. I mean, I've probably had 60, 70 offers in the last 10 years. I mean, I have been in the office in the big glistening building in L.A., offered a radio show to be as big as Rush Limbaugh with the contract in front of me. But in that case, I had to be controlled what I said, and I said no. With the Paris thing, whatever I wanted, say whatever I wanted, and I knew it would put it really out there in a big way. And I'd try some other distributions or another outfit who's a lot smaller, and that was all right. It's just that then I can't put them out for free. I can't say make copies. I can't leave it up on Google Video. And so I, turned down tens of millions of dollars. That's just how it works here, folks. And then I get screamed at and yelled at for trying to sell a few thousand copies myself to be able to maybe make a film. And the films do lose money. I pay for stuff with advertising, and I pay for it, a few other ways. I got a small inheritance a few years ago. I really want to know. Side issue, but it doesn't burn me. It doesn't get in my craw. I feel sorry for people that have no idea how many deals I've turned down and what I've turned down. You have no idea, folks. I mean, most people say they wouldn't sell out, and I'm not saying that would be that if I did it with Paris. It's just that I can't, even if something might have some of that involved or might lead down a road, because to me, the fact that I put out 21 films, the fact that I've made 20 myself, and I've made 19 and produced 2. No, I've made 20 and produced 2. The fact that they reach hundreds of millions online for free that we can track, that is what I want instead of money. That's what I want. And the death threats and everything that come with it. And that would have all pretty much ended if I did that. So it wasn't selling out that I refused, because whatever I wanted I could say. It was that it would be a sellout because the video wouldn't be available everywhere. But that's Universal's end. I shouldn't even be getting into it, but he brought it up on air, so cat's out of the bag on that. I'm actually a pretty darn good guy. Is the whole point here, folks. I mean, I don't know anybody else, even in this movement. I won't take questionable advertising. I won't be involved in any of this stuff, because it doesn't mean anything to me. Who I am is what is valuable. What I stand for, what I believe in. I mean, I know they've approached alternative news people, alternative health people, wanting to buy them out. And I know a lot of people out there have said no, because, they're not going to be involved in poisoning children, but a lot of people will sell out, and that's why we've seen a lot of these things happen. But that's a side issue there separately. Paris is somebody who never sold out and has made it big repeatedly. All right, I apologize to Jeffrey R. Smith for making him hold 5 minutes. We're really honored to have him, and I've got his bio here, but I hate to make folks talk about themselves, but it's better if you just describe yourself and introduce yourself. We carry some of your amazing books and videos. Seeds of Deception to Genetically Engineered Foods by Jeffrey M. Smith. Keep calling him R. Smith. I'm out of my mind today. And Genetic Roulette, also, and the GMO DVD, film, and audio CD trilogy, all available at Infowars.com. I hope you'll support us and support him by going to Infowars.com and getting those. Jeffrey M. Smith, good to have you back with us.
Thank you very much, Alex. Great to be here.
Good to have you here. I never asked you this. Have you ever been approached to sell out?
No, I haven't. I've often thought if Monsanto's willing to give me millions of dollars to stop talking about them, I could just funnel that into anti-GMO activities, and maybe I'd sell out. but no, I have never been asked to sell out in any form.
Mm. Well, that's when you know the New World Order's real, buddy, when they come at you over and over again.
So far, I protected myself. In fact, I knew that other people that had written books before I published Seeds of Deception, some friends of mine published a book against the grain. They were about to publish it, and 3 days before it came off the printer, a threatening letter from Monsanto's attorney forced the publisher to stop the presses and cancel the publication. So they were eventually able to print it somewhere else, but I decided to turn down an offer by a publisher to publish my book so that I could publish it myself, because I knew that they couldn't stop me.
See,
I also didn't let them,
That's why I haven't gone with big film production companies that have wanted to bring in professional teams and all those folks and do TV series and a bunch of other stuff folks don't know about. Because exactly by signing on to that, then it brings other people into control, and then you could lose control.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that have been wanting to option my first book, Seeds of Deception, for a film, but I'm very cautious about losing the control, because they might just flip it so that it may make Monsanto out to be benevolent.
Well, that happened to Jesse Ventura. I think he got like $3 million to do a year TV show on MSNBC. It was a 3-year contract, $2 million a year. I'm going from memory here what he told me in the car, and he's also talked about it here on air some, but when he was here visiting us. And they didn't tell him, it had golden handcuffs in there, but he did, and they said right after he signed it, it's like, all right, now you're out of the game for the war we're about to have. and they just basically bought his contract out, and he sat there for 3 years. And then that's why he finally now was able to go public in the last year and a half, because that contract was up, saying he could do no other media. So, I mean, they do it.
Yes, it's true. What I do is I try, like you, getting information out there on YouTube and on my website. In fact, just 4 weeks ago, I got an email from India saying that they found that the genetically engineered BT cotton is causing massive deaths and reproductive failures in buffalo and cows, and that hundreds or thousands of people in the region who are touching the cotton that's genetically engineered to produce this toxic pesticide are developing allergic reactions like itching.
Okay.
So what I did is I said to them, please, let's document this. Let's get it videotaped. And so we were able to raise money to get an investigative team in there with a video camera and 2 veterinarians and a reporter and a project leader, so that will be able to be put out for everyone to see what's really happening there.
Absolutely. Now let's go back, and I'm really going to try to give you the floor, so just you're going to be running here. What you think is most important, the melamine, the estrogen-mimicking endocrine disruptors in the plastics, the GMO, the India situation. I mean, because you really are one of the leading experts. Tell folks who you are, then about some of your books and videos that we have available on Infowars.com and also on your own site. Give folks that. And then you've got the floor, sir, whatever you think is most important to tell people, because this is a public service announcement is what this is in the truest sense, so people have a chance to know what's in their food and their water and ways to try to protect themselves.
Great. Well, my expertise is really on the genetically engineered foods and crops. That's where you take genes from one species and you force them into the DNA of other species, causing massive collateral damage, in fact, in the DNA and lots of unpredicted side effects. Now, these were originally introduced in our food supply widely in 1996, and that was because the first Bush administration believed that genetically engineered foods, largely produced from the Monsanto company, would increase U.S. exports. And what happened was they told the FDA to promote the biotechnology industry. The FDA then created a new position for Michael Taylor, Monsanto's former attorney and later Monsanto's vice president, to be in charge of policy. The policy came out with a blatant lie, claiming that the agency wasn't aware of any information showing that GMOs were significantly different. GMOs means genetically modified organisms. As a result of that lie, they said no safety studies are necessary. Monsanto and others don't even have to tell the FDA in order to put these foods on the market. Well, we know now, 7 years after that policy came out in 1999, 44,000 internal secret memos from the FDA were made public because of a lawsuit. It turns out the overwhelming consensus among the FDA's own scientists were, in fact, that genetically engineered foods could create allergies, toxins, new diseases, and nutritional problems, that it was different from normal foods, and in fact, the scientists were appalled that it was going to be put on the market quickly and had urged their superiors, like Michael Taylor, to require long-term safety studies. Now, I'll footnote this by saying Michael Taylor is now on the Obama transition team overseeing agriculture, and that concerns me, although hopefully he's reformed. But what's happened since then, GMOs have been out on the market since 1996. There's now 8 commercialized genetically engineered food crops. We'll go over them in a minute. And what I did is, in my second book, Genetic Roulette, I documented, with the help of more than 30 scientists, all of the known health risks of GMOs. And we've linked GMOs to thousands of toxic and allergic reactions in humans, thousands of sick, sterile, and dead livestock, and damage to virtually every organ and every system studied in animals. And that came out last year, but last month, 2 government studies came out, which I blogged about on my Huffington Post blog, and it turns out an Austrian government commission study showed that when parent mice were fed genetically engineered corn, which is currently approved on our diet, that it had a reduction in the number of offspring and in the health of the offspring as judged by the weight of the offspring. So it caused a level of infertility and damage in the next generation. And the Italian government commissioned a study, which also came out last month, showing that the corn creates an immune response, suggesting that it might create allergies or inflammatory responses or immune responses in humans. So we continue to pile on information showing that genetically engineered foods are unsafe. Now, I realize I didn't really talk about myself. Now I can talk about myself in the context of my work. I've been working on genetically engineered foods for about a dozen years. I worked at a GMO detection laboratory as a vice president of marketing. I ran for U.S. Congress to raise the awareness of the issue. I've published Seeds of Deception and Genetic Roulette. I have a film out which is available online for free called Your Milk on Drugs, Just Say No. Another one called Hidden Dangers in Kids' Meals. And I've been traveling to about 30 countries, counseling senior political leaders, speaking to the media and the public about the dangers. And more recently, my Institute for Responsible Technology has put together what's called the Campaign for Healthier Eating in America. It's a campaign designed to achieve the consumer rejection tipping point of genetically engineered foods in the United States, and we think we can do this before the end of 2009. Now, a tipping point is something where we turn the use of the genetically engineered ingredients into a marketing liability, forcing food companies to take it out of their products or face reduced sales. Now, this happened with bovine growth hormone, genetically modified drug inserted into cows to increase milk supply. We had a kind of a tipping point against RBGH by consumers because of the obvious health dangers, which I'll tell you about in a minute. And that occurred about 2.5 years ago. And since then, more and more dairies and retail stores and chains have taken out of their products. The most recent one to take it out was Subway. They announced it 2 weeks ago. Walmart earlier this year, Starbucks the end of last year, Kroger in February.
Even
about 40 of the top. Yeah.
Even Borden's is now. I mean, you can't hardly find the growth hormone milk now. So this is one area where we're having massive victories against these global crime cartels. This is so exciting what's happening. So we're having victories. Consumers can vote.
Absolutely. In fact, our organization was part of the group of organizations that engineered this tipping point. It wasn't just random. We started educating people about the health risks of the bovine growth hormone. The milk itself has more pus. It has more antibiotics. It has more growth hormone. It also has more of a hormone called insulin-like growth factor 1, IGF-1, which in high levels in humans is linked to cancer and high rates of fraternal twins. And it's in much, much higher levels in the milk that comes from these treated cows.
And that's why we see all these twins suddenly everywhere.
Yeah, in fact, there was a study that came out in the Journal of Reproductive Medicine where they compared the fraternal twin rate in the United States to the UK. Now, the UK, they banned the use of bovine growth hormone. In fact, it's banned in most industrialized countries, in all of Europe, Canada, Japan, Australia, New Zealand. But it was put through in the United States when Michael Taylor, Monsanto's former attorney, was in charge of policy. It was a Monsanto drug until they sold it off to Eli Lilly this fall because they saw the writing on the wall that it was going down. But we know that the white paper that Michael Taylor wrote while he was the Deputy Commissioner of Policy stated that not only were they not going to require labeling of dairy products that contained RBGH, he was even suggesting that if some dairy were to label it as RBGH free, they should also put the disclaimer that according to the FDA, there's no difference.
Well, they tried to threaten dairies. They tried to threaten dairies, as you know, to stop doing that with a bluff. Yeah. Just like
and there's something going on in Kansas about that.
All right, stay there. When we come back, we're going to talk about this. But the key here is, with the estrogen hormones in the mimickers in the milk, in the plastic, we can have a tipping point. We can have a tipping point on the melamine, on all of it. We'll be right back.
Toxic heavy metals negatively impact our health. They're in the air we breathe, the water we drink, the food we eat, the products we use, and the objects we touch. Exposure is impossible to avoid. Heavy metals build up within the body over a period of time, causing poor health. However, with Kelorex, they can be mobilized and excreted in a safe and effective manner. Kelorex was developed based on Dr. Alan Greenberg's clinical experience with heavy metal poisoning during his 25 years of medical practice. Kelorex does not contain EDTA and is made from all natural ingredients, enhancing the body's natural mechanisms for excreting heavy metals and preventing their reabsorption. Kelorex contains antioxidants to protect the liver, kidneys, central nervous system, and immune functions, and effectively mobilizes mercury and 15 other heavy metals, including aluminum, arsenic, lead, and more. Find out what Kelorex can do for you by calling